You've now mentioned, I believe, value proposition, value story a couple of times. And I know, and you know, of course, that that is at the heart of our approach here at ExecuNet to moving people at your level from point A to point B as swiftly as possible. And it doesn't mean there's no hard work there. There sure is. But Saundra, if we pause for a moment before I take more questions, help our audience understand when we talk about a value story or a value proposition, what is it and why is it so critical to an executive level search?
Well, I'll tell you why first. Well, okay. What is it? Let's do what first. What is a value proposition is what does it all mean to me? As a recruiter, I when I started working on executive level roles and I also started seeing how differently executives get hired, the thing that I noticed was that if I sat down with a mid-level person or for to fill a mid-level search. Let's just say there's a hiring manager who knows exactly which skills and experiences they're looking for. I mean, that hiring manager is basically an SME on whatever that person does. I would just go recruit. I would submit the top three matches and one would get the job. But when I started working on executive level roles, what I found is that it's not usually a one person making a unilateral decision based on some gut instinct on their subject matter expertise. It was usually stakeholders. And a lot of times that none of these stakeholders even did what that person does. And to me, that's the definition of executive. It's not a title thing. It means they need you to come in and make something happen for them. They don't quite have the strategy for it. They need somebody to come in and do it. It could even be manager title. But I would try and get the skills and experiences and backgrounds that they were looking for and this years of experience and this pedigree and this industry and this size company. And a lot of times the person they hired did not match that. But then I started to see a theme when I would do the feedback, the debrief, if you will. And the debrief had a theme. And that was, Saundra, I know it's a different background than we said that we wanted, but as it turns out, this person is perfect for what we're trying to do. Well, I didn't really know where that turning point came from. I said, so how did you figure that out? Well, he explained it, or that's what she does. And a lot of times that's how the person got in the door in the first place. They just showed up through somebody's network because that's what they do. And that's when I started realizing these are people who are not selling their backgrounds, they're selling their value proposition. And so what I had to start to do was screen out people in order for me to have the person that was going to get the job, which is how recruiters get paid. I had to only recruit people who knew their value proposition. And unfortunately, what I found out is only about 1 out of 100 people knew their value proposition because most people would describe themselves based on their years of experience, their proven track record, and their accomplishments and their unique skill sets. And that's when I realized they don't know their own value proposition. And as it turns out, there is a reason for that. It's because we're on the inside of us, and we tend to define ourselves by our skills, accomplishments, and backgrounds, and we just expect the other side to know it. You should just know that because in the past, when your hiring manager or your boss was a subject matter expert on what you do, they would know it. But at the executive level, you have to explain what it does for them. And that's what a value proposition is. Now, it was tough running around chasing the same people everybody else was after. Those people that really had a handle on their value proposition. They were always ready. They were always packaged. And that's what made me switch to this side, because I knew if people knew that they would be able to compete with those people.